Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hotspots schedule and routine video for the Trigger Point Guide. My name is Nick from Trigger Point Pros. In this video, we're going to cover all the hotspots you need to maximize your trigger point routine. Again, trigger pointing is to maximize your mental and athletic performance, enhance recovery, hydration, as well as reduce tension, stress, and overall relaxation enhancement, right? So the main thing is, with this video, we're going to cover 4 main categories. Each category will have its own video that will go into a lot more detail on how to perform each trigger point specifically, as well as a corrective exercise at the end of each trigger point routine for that day, specific for the anterior side, day 1 Monday, let's say, anterior meaning front side of the body. Then we have day 2 Tuesday, back side of the body. Day 3 lateral side, so outer side. Again, each day will have a corrective exercise, and you can follow up with a walk. You can even do a hot bath one day, a nap one day, however your schedule permits, of course. And then finally, the 4th day, Thursday, we'll say, is going to be the inner side of the body as well. So you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then just repeat indefinitely, taking a day off here and there. Obviously, there's really no reason to take a day off because this is just... it's not that intense, but you know, sometimes our schedule gets in the way. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm wearing these glasses, because I film very late and don't want to mess up my circadian rhythm with this blue light. So let's get started. So the first day will be the anterior front side. Again, we're going to have a video specific for each category. Then you're just going to click on that video or that day, anterior. Let's start with that. And we're going to go through the details of each and every trigger point, what specific tools are best for that, not only on the go traveling, but also maximum potential, like say for if you're in your own home or gym or office, what tools will be ideal for that muscle. And again, go into a lot of detail on the corrective exercises as well for that specific group. So anterior is the front side of the body. It goes all the way from the tibialis anterior as number 1, the quads, the abdominals, the pectorals, the neck, the jaw, and the face. Some of these are not super accurate with the fascial lines, but we just categorize them this way for a reason, to try to split everything up, ideally. So the first one, again, with the front side of the body will be the tibialis anterior. By the way, the ones in red are your priorities, your heavy hitters. The more you develop your skills and knowledge and awareness of your own hotspots with this guide, the more you will be able to mix and match everything and prioritize what is your individually worse hotspot for your own body. And for example, the adductors, the groin, is definitely my worst area that I have to prioritize every day or every other day, as well as the corrective exercise for that specific group of musculature, right? So over time, you can develop your own routine and start to prioritize your own hotspots every day. But for now, just stick to the schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can just over time, again, discover what's worse for you, your own dysfunctions. Anyways, back to it. The blue is slightly less important, but still, in our opinion, just as important. Just a little bit less time is needed because we only have so much time during the day. So tibialis anterior, that's the shins, right outside the tibia muscle, which is where most people get kicked. That's the bone, right? And so on the outer portion of that 45-degree angle, the tibialis anterior, where a lot of people get shin splints. You're going to spend roughly 3 to 5 minutes each side, or more if you need. Of course, it gets dehydrated tight for everybody. It's also weak, so we're going to have a corrective for that as well. You're going to need a lacrosse ball for this one. You can use something like a softball, a firm foam roller. You can use a gua sha tool or Theragun, but your lacrosse balls are going to be your best bet. Plus, it's great for traveling with as well. Number 2 is going to be your quadriceps, a much larger muscle. It's huge, deep fascia, a lot of tension, a lot of dehydration. The main hotspots for the quadriceps will be the lower portion near the patellar tendon in the middle, as well as the upper outer portion right here, known as the quad 45, or the upper vastus lateralis, it's called. You also have the vastus medialis, the rectus femoris, you have the vastus lateralis, and intermedius as well. And you actually have the sartorius, giant muscle running through there as well. And that's all great. Again, as you develop your routine, you become more advanced, you can start to find different angles and play with it and find what portion of the quad is your worst part. 5 to 10 minutes minimum each side. When I say the time, what I mean is either the entire muscle or that specific trigger point. You could spend literally 10 minutes on one trigger point and finding different angles until the pain subsides. And then you can rinse and repeat, move to a different area, etc. All right, so for the quadriceps, the barbell is going to be your best bet. You can even sit down on a bench and have a weighted heavy barbell sinking into that deep fascia, because you need something super deep tissue release for the quadriceps. They're just very dense. You need to go deep to the bone. So a barbell is going to be your best bet. You can use a firm foam roller on the go. A softball works pretty well on the go. The Theragun Gua Sha is okay, not as ideal. Again, deep tissue is the best. Number 3, the abdominals, specifically the rectus abdominis, which is the middle portion, not the obliques. So the two hot spots for the abdominals, the main ones will be the upper abdominals, very tight, very dehydrated on pretty much everybody, as well as the psoas near the belly button. Again, we'll click on the video. We're gonna go into a lot more detail. Softball is gonna be your best bet with the abdominals. You can use the barbell, you can use the kettlebell, it works pretty well. Gua Sha is okay. This is very deep fascia as well. A lot of organs, a lot of trauma, a lot of stress, a lot of dehydration in the abdominal region. So upper abs with the softball, 5 to 10 minutes each side. But you can also hit the psoas, either both in one go, one session, or either or. Play with it. Pectorals, the chest. The main hot spots will be the pec minor, right up here, the upper clavicular head, pec, and then the pec major, which is pretty much the rest of the chest muscle. The pec minor, you're definitely going to want to use a barbell, softball, or kettlebell. Those are really good. This is very thick fascia, very deep. More superficial is going to be the clavicle head and the pec major. So that one you will probably want to use like a softball. So softball will hit pretty much everything on the pec very effectively. You can use Gua Sha, or Theragun, Theracane as well, but barbell, kettlebell, softball, best bet. 5 to 10 minutes each side. Big muscle. Some people consider the pecs to be the glutes of the upper body. All right, moving forward, last one, neck, jaw, and face. Neck, sternocleidomastoid, scalings. You can use Gua Sha, scraping, Graston, Theracane. You can use your hands as well. Theragun works okay, just be careful. A lot of sensitive areas here, but it's very thick fascia, very deep fascia as well. And 3 to 10 minutes each side, neck, jaw, face. The face, you can use like a jade stone Gua Sha tool from Amazon, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, with some MCT oil, wipe the oil off afterwards. And that's pretty much it with that one, guys. Very simple, use your hands, release it. 1/3 of the lymph nodes are neck up, so it's very imperative that we focus a lot of attention on the neck and draining it, because that's the only way the head drains. Sinus issues, etc., work that well. And then finally, we're going to finish off the trigger point routine with a lunge corrective. We'll go into detail on the video. Make sure you follow along with that, because that is important. You've got to correct the software as well, not just do the hardware with the trigger pointing, but also the software, and overlap those default settings that we're accustomed to. 30 to 120 seconds for the correctives each side, and then you're going to do 3 to 5 sets, and then you can go for a walk and then call it a day. Backside, posterior section. We have the feet, the soleus, we have the hamstrings, the glutes, the QL, the erectors, which is pretty much the entire back, as well as the scapula, shoulder blade, traps, neck, and all the way up to the scalp. So the first one is going to be the feet and the soleus, 5 to 10 minutes each side. The feet, you can just stand on a barbell, you can stand on a lacrosse ball, you can even stand on inside of a kettlebell and really get some foot expansion, but I like to use the barbell because the feet are very dehydrated, super tense, and super deep fascia as well. So going deep is imperative that we do so. And then the soleus is your calf used for walking. It's the bottom half of the calf muscle. That is 5 to 10 minutes each side, either both the feet and the soleus. You can also do the gastroc, which is the top portion of the calf, pretty much anywhere on the calf or the foot, or either or. It's really up to you. Again, figure it out. It's going to take some time until you figure out what are your worst, but explore, play with it. You might do one week, maybe both, or the other, whatever. Number 2, hamstrings. Barbell, softball, or kettlebell are pretty much the only way you can release the hamstrings, I've found. Using a stool and sitting on a softball is very effective. Also, you can take the softball anywhere. The softball is one of the best tools for trigger pointing. It's this, right? I also have this custom one from Skills. company. And the softball, again, super effective, but the barbell, highly effective. Sit on a barbell, elevated 2 chairs, or a Smith machine works pretty well. Thin barbell works very well, and you can just kind of play with the angles, etc. Get a nice little stretch going. Kettlebell, again, follow the video. 2 hot spots for the hamstrings, mainly the lower hamstring, outer portion, ideally. You can also play with the inner one, no big deal, or the middle. And then the upper, for sure, is going to be the worst portion on the hamstring. So the upper is right under the butt. Make sure you're not on the glutes, you're on the hamstring still, and just going deep to the bone and playing with those angles. 5 to 10 minutes each side for sure. The glutes, we are going to be hitting the waistband on day 3. So you can choose to do the glute medius, which is the upper band right up here. But for the glutes on the posterior day, you're going to want to hit more the piriformis, the glute max, which is the main meat of the booty muscle, right? So lacrosse ball, firm foam roller, softball. You can kind of use a barbell if you want. Theragun maybe, Theracane, but definitely your softball firm foam roller will be ideal for the glutes. 5 to 10 minutes each side. Number 4, the back. So the QL, basically the kidneys, and then the erectors, which are the tree trunk columns that run alongside the entire spine. You can use a lacrosse ball. You can use a peanut, which is 2 lacrosse balls, and have the spine in between, or 1 lacrosse ball on each QL, 2 lacrosse balls on the erectors, or 1 softball on 1 QL at a time, kind of like at a 45-degree angle. Again, watch the videos. We'll go into a lot more detail there. Just make sure that you never foam roll your lower back, because the lower back is not supported by any skeletal structure. I have known people, I was not facilitating this, that have herniated their disc in the lower lumbar spine. Be careful. But you can foam roll your mid-back, your thoracolumbar area, or sorry, your thoracic spine and cervical as well. Well, not really the neck, but all the way up here. 5 to 10 minutes each side. Play with it, either the QL or the erectors or both. Number 5, scapula, traps, and neck. That's your shoulder blade. That's your traps, upper, middle, and lower. You can use a lacrosse ball for these. You can use a gouache blade for the traps. You can even use a barbell for the traps if they are very stubborn. Gouache the neck, gouache the head, or you can use your hands, kind of release the neck and the head as well, the scalp. 3 to 10 minutes each side, either all these muscles or just, 1 to 2, maybe play with it, figure it out. And then finally, a corrective exercise after you finish this routine. Single leg hinge and reach play. We will be going through that in detail. Very important. 3 to 5 sets, 30 to 120 seconds each set for each side. Day 3, Wednesday, lateral, peroneals. Outer side, peroneals are the outer calf muscle directly under the fibula, which is the other bone other than the tibia. So right on the outer side, barbell, kettlebell. The barbell is going to be the best. If you're traveling, lacrosse ball, softball, Theragun works pretty well, gouache. 3 to 5 minutes each side or more, depends how much you need. If the peroneals aren't bad, I've never not known anyone's peroneals to not be bad. They're all pretty tender and tight. But you can also hit your outer soleus, outer gastrocnemius, which are basically just the outer calf muscle. Number 2, IT band, outer thigh. A lot of people think the IT band is a waste of time because it's a tendon. Again, we're not worried about tendon or muscles per se. It's the fascia that we're trying to rehydrate, and fascia runs in and out of everything, around everything. So if you don't want to hit the IT band, which is directly on the side of the thigh, you can hit the outer thigh, outer quad, vastus lateralis, and the outer hamstring, lateral hamstring head. Barbell, lacrosse ball, PVC pipe, firm foam roller works wonders. And that's pretty much your best bet for the IT band. 5 to 10 minutes each side, for sure. TFL, waistband, huge one. It doesn't seem like much, but it is. And that's pretty much the upper quad here, the TFL, which is your belt line, this area, right? Barbell is going to be your best bet, and then all the way around the glute medius and glute minimus. So this entire band right here. Barbell, lacrosse ball, PVC pipe thin, Theragun maybe, but barbell is going to be your best bet if you're on the go. Lacrosse ball. 5 to 10 minutes each side for sure. lats and the side muscle right here between the iliac crest, which is your pelvic bone, as well as your lower rib. Do not hit your rib. Do not try to trigger point your rib. It can be dangerous. You can hurt it. So a barbell laying on your side or a lacrosse ball will fit in there nicely. But the lat muscle will definitely need a firm foam roller, maybe a softball with some type of padding, but definitely a firm foam roller for your lats will be ideal. 5 to 10 minutes each side. Huge muscle, super influential. This is a massive upper body muscle that runs from your shoulder all the way down to the pelvis, the hip. So number 5 are the rear delt arms. That's going to be with the barbell and lacrosse ball pretty much. You can also use guasa to save time with the arms. I do that a lot because, you know, we don't only have so much time in the day. I don't always get to it. So 3 to 5 minutes plus each side. Go more if you need. And then finally a double internal rotation hinge. We're going to go over, again, watch the videos. We'll go into a lot more details about the ground tension, how to squeeze out, activate the lateral side, etc. Number 4, day 4, inner Thursday, let's say. We're going to start with the arch, the inner calf as well, gastrocsoleus, as well as the inner foot, the arch. So barbell, stand on that, kettlebell, but also Theragun, Theracane, guasha, lacrosse ball, maybe softball, foam roller, I guess, but definitely your guasha for that, I would say. Or kettlebell, honestly, 3 to 5 minutes plus each side. Adductors, this is a huge muscle. I have quite a few hot spots that are really tender for me, that are definitely I need to focus more on, and the adductors are definitely at the top for me. The groin specifically. So the adductors are this inner thigh muscle, and very dense and thick up top near the genitalia, the groin. Very sacred. A lot of people don't touch it as far as like massage therapists because, one, they don't know how to really get in there deeply without it being kind of awkward. So this is why I'm going to teach you how to release it properly, because it's an area that is never truly released and rehydrated properly. It also seems to house a lot of emotions, anger being one of them Chinese medicine points to. But I've found that stress in general seems to really harbor in the inner groin area. So we are going to do some work on releasing that inner tension. You guys are going to love it. The adductors, again, lower adductor, you can hit with the softball, kettlebell, barbell, firm foam roller, but as soon as you get up there, you can only hit this area really with a barbell or a kettlebell really being the best, and an elevated barbell at that. It's pretty tough to get up there, but again, we're going to spend most of our time that inner groin, because if you look at the fascia on an anatomy chart, it is super dense, super thick in there. Here's the femur all the way here. So you have this massive bundle of fascia there. So we'll be spending a lot of time on that, 5 to 10 minutes plus. You're going to want to spend your most time pretty much on the adductors and the quads. Number 3, the obliques and the serratus anterior, either or both, right? So obliques, that's the outer abs. Then you have the serratus anterior, which is basically on your ribs. You're going to want to use a softball that's padded, maybe even a soft, like an actual med ball that's like soft but small. That works wonders, but a softball with some padding or a blanket on top of that will work pretty well. And the oblique, same thing, softball works pretty damn well. Maybe a Theracane, maybe a Theragun. That's pretty much it. Softball is going to be your best bet. 5 to 10 minutes each side for sure. Front delts and arms are going to be the last on day 4. Front delts, that's right up here. These get very tight for a lot of people because it's kind of, you know, whether you're painting or artwork, or you're working, hammering, or installing a fan, everyone always seems to be overactivating their front delts. So not only do we need to strengthen the backside, but we got to rehydrate this and kind of remove some of that tension, especially from the pec minor as well on day 1. So softball works really well, firm foam roller, barbell, but also just a guasha blade, Theragun even, and just guasa the rest of that arm. And you can also trigger point the hands with your hands or a lacrosse ball, kind of slamming into that. But get a lot of this tension out of here because there's a lot of stress built up in the arms. 3 to 5 minutes plus each side. Again, guasha is going to save you the most time. And then finally, you're going to finish off on that day with a wide double internal rotation, split plus horse stance, kind of like Kung Fu, where the knees are facing in or straight and the feet are facing straight or in. And you're going to play with bending, etc. We're going to go into a lot more details on the video. So click on that, enjoy it. 1 to 5 minutes in 3 to 5 sets roughly. So again, just to recap, got the front side, day 1, Monday, back side, posterior, day 2, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's pretty much how your routine is going to go. As you get more advanced, you can play with it, mix and match, and become your own trigger point specialist, but stick with this routine. Always try to have this routine as your staple, no matter where you are in your trigger point journey, whether you're a pro athlete or a stay-at-home mom, whatever. It doesn't matter. And you can do this, but also prioritize every day something that is really bad, that needs more attention. You get the idea. If you got any questions, contact us at support@mitigatestress.com. We are always here to help. Thank you guys so much for downloading our guide, and see you on the first video. God bless.